This is another episode of Standup Comedy, your host and MC, celebrating 40-plus years on the fringe of show business. Stories, interviews, and comedy sets from the famous and not so famous. Here's your host and MC, Scott Edwards.
Hey everybody, welcome back to the podcast. I have something unique and different for you. I know I say that a lot, but this one truly is. So just recently I had a chance to go to the Throckmorton Theater in Mill Valley. That's in Central California, just east of San Francisco, in kind of the foo-foo part of the state, between San Francisco and Napa, Mill Valley. And this theater has been around for many, many years. In fact, Robin Williams used to go there every Tuesday night to work on material and stuff. He was from that area. A lot of comics, Mark Pitta, Dana Carvey, and several others have worked out of the Throckmorton. Well, a group of comics that I've all interviewed on this podcast were doing a show on a Tuesday night, and I went to be a part of it. And I got a chance to hang out backstage, talk to the guys, hang out with them in the lobby, and listen to the whole show. It was really a lot of fun for me. You know, after 21 years in the comedy business, I don't go out to comedy shows as much as I used to. So this was a real treat. And I was invited by my good friend Steve Bruner and his buddy Larry Bubbles Brown, and two comics that used to work for me all the time. But also Johnny Steele is there, Chicago Steve Barkley. It's a great lineup. So this show will be me at this event, listening to the show, talking to the guys, and kind of sharing it with you, my audience. There's some really funny stuff, some great backstage interaction. I think you'll enjoy it. So let's jump into it. This is me on a Tuesday evening at the Throckmorton Theater in Mill Valley. Oh, I almost forgot. Before we jump into the show, the host for the evening is a comic by the name of Meehan. He's produced a few movies, did stand-up comedy for a few years, but tonight at the Throckmorton, he's the MC. So here we go. 60s. So here I'm at the Throckmorton Theater in Mill Valley, and tonight a bunch of my friends are performing, so I'm going to catch a little bit and share it with you, my audience. Right now, Meehan is warming things up. Let's give it a quick listen.
Here at the Throckmorton, our crowd, yes. Sometimes the Throckmorton, of course, always the best place in the world to perform, but sometimes you go to places where the crowd's a little younger and the stuff's not going to go over. They're like, yes, you failed to amuse us, you aging jester. We're going back to our TikTok videos. Yeah. But anyway, but not here tonight because it's a live show. It's a great show. It's a wonderful show, and it's always fun to have a show. Goodness, a live stage. Look at the stage. We have a magnificent stage here. And of course, coming in here, Tam High. There at the field. Yeah. See a lot of geese out there all the time. It's their new home. And I don't know what kind of geese they are. They might even be transgenders.
So you can see Meehan is challenged a little bit in getting the crowd warmed up, but we have a nice audience. Looks like to be about 100 people on a Tuesday night, again at the Throckmorton Theater. I'll be back a little bit later with some more live stand-up comedy. Okay, we've been listening to stand-up comedy, and now I'm about to go into the lobby where I hang out for a little bit with Larry Bubbles Brown and Chicago Steve Barkley and their friend Wally, but kind of some interaction. And then it goes into some more stand-up comedy with Steve Bruner, a really good friend of mine and regular on this podcast. So here we go, a little lobby conversation and comedy by my good friend, Steve Bruner. So we're just about to start the show. Actually, they're out there getting things warmed up, but Larry's out here with
Wally.
Wally, give us your name.
I am the last living Wally Smith.
That's tough to find.
My first open mic on March 3rd, 1981 was also his first open mic.
I believe it was a Tuesday.
It was a Tuesday, and then he got smart, got out of comedy, and got into business, and I stayed in it and pursued a life of poverty.
And Steve Barkley is here too. Say hi, Steve.
Hi, Steve.
We're pre-show. These guys haven't gone on stage yet, but we're at the Throckmorton, and it's exciting, right, Larry?
We've gone from the 80s, we've gone from cocaine to a cane.
Steve's got a cane.
I just got rid of the co part. I just use the cane now.
So it's been, I don't know how often you're performing, Steve, but do you get any anxious
That's what
before?
my wife says, the same thing. She says, I don't know how often you're performing. You show up, but you don't perform.
Yeah,
Not good for the wife to say.
It is. Comedy's like sex at our age. It's maybe twice a month if we're lucky.
It's like Social Security. Once a month and it's not enough.
Well, what I was wondering was, you guys are longtime professionals, but do you get nervous before a show at this point? We have 100 people in there anxious for your comedy?
I get nervous that I can't remember where I parked my car. I get out of this hellhole.
Not too much. It depends on the venue. I mean, I still, sometimes, but I'm more anxious.
Yeah,
I want to get on stage.
Get on there and prove yourself.
Yeah, get on there and do that.
Yeah.
I'm super nervous, and I'm just an audience member.
Wally is the audience member du jour, and very excited. He used to do comedy. You know what it's like.
Oh, yeah. It took me only 4 years to fail, so I'm way, way better than Larry.
He had a cable access TV show in San Jose in the 80s.
Yeah, that's failing up.
Yeah, he was being clear around the block.
I had a cable TV show in San Francisco in the 80s called Please Don't Call It Frisco that lasted for 3 shows. And right off the air.
3 shows, that good.
It was that good. Yeah.
Oh, there's Johnny Steele and his dog. Hey, we're going to catch some comedy. Keep listening.
Well, we'll see.
Okay, my friend Steve Bruner has taken the stage. Let's hear a little bit of Steve Bruner. You've heard him before on the podcast. Let's hear him live on stage at the Throckmorton.
And I love the 101 when you're driving to this gig, because this is one of the most fun gigs in the entire world. Absolute best Tuesday. But just driving here on the freeway, saw this huge trailer carrying half a house. Wow. That is a tough divorce. I'm just happy to be this close to home, and now that I live in Santa Rosa, that's probably one of the best things, because usually I'm traveling. Last time I went to Arizona, and I bought my wife a candle, and she likes candles, just in case you were worried about that part, and she likes jewelry, and I have done the price comparison. So I got her a candle, and this candle nowadays, I'm a little worried about humanity a little bit, because this candle that I bought her came with directions. And my opinion is, if you need directions for a candle, I don't want you anywhere near matches. And I think the directions are actually amusing. I think the directions are amusing, like the first one says, do not stand by naked flame. That's pretty good. That's pretty good even if you're dyslexic. Do not stand by flame naked. I think the second little direction is absolutely the best, though. It says, do not leave candle unattended. I think they mean lit candle. Otherwise, you just bought yourself a wax pen. You want to go to the movies with your wife, you got to call up your sister and say, hey, do you mind babysitting the candle? It doesn't like being left unattended. Okay, you guys are 1 for 4. Just thought I'd let you know that you're 1 for 4. My wife is fabulous. I say that, this is how fabulous my wife is. I say that she's not even here. Okay, because it's not my first marriage. Or as my wife likes to say, I'm under new management. And the worst part about it is people say opposites attract. I don't like that, because my wife is smart, pretty, and funny. Where's that lead me? I'm looking for my self-esteem. I think that's where that is. And my wife is pretty funny. We're driving through Nevada, and she sees a sign that says, Area 51, next right. And she hits me, and she says, hey, look, Area 51, see, no big secret, it's right there. You know what a big secret is? Where's Area 1 through 50? Well, that's funny. I'm getting you a Happy Meal. My wife is very funny. She accused me one time of butt dialing her, and I knew I hadn't done it. I knew I had not done it at all. I hadn't butt dialed her. And she came in, she goes, "Hey, you butt dialed me." I said, "No, I didn't." She goes, "Yeah, you did. I'm looking at my phone. You butt dialed me." I said, "No, I did not. My phone is in my front pocket." I think we should be glad it didn't send a pic. All right. Work. That's not bad. All right, okay. I'll take that as a round of the difference. That's not bad. I'll take that. I figured out a whole bunch of things. I figured out some major things, like I found out that I do not have a side of the bed. I have a percentage. If my bed was a business, I am definitely the silent partner. I have shares but no voting rights. Every night my wife is, around midnight, has enough covers for a golden parachute. I am involved in a hostile takeover. Found out how easy it is to put my wife in a bad mood. All you got to do is ask her why she's in a bad mood. I got one applaud and a mild around it. Okay, all right. I see where you people are. But that's not going to.
So Steve's going to go on and entertain the audience, but I wanted to share a little bit of his material. We'll talk to him more later. Stay tuned.
My wife is fantastic.
Steve has just had a great set. He's looking for a closer. Here we go.
I'm really happy at the level of humanity's intelligence and intellect. We have come up with a metal that is so sharp and can be honed so fine, and it's so durable. They put it into a thing called the Infinity Razor, the big selling point. You buy the Infinity Razor, you'll never have to buy another razor as long as you live. Get this, so sharp, so durable. Buy the Infinity Razor, never buy another razor your entire life. And if you order now, we'll send you 2. I've been Steve Bruner. Enjoy the heck out of this show.
Well, that was it. That was my buddy Steve Bruner. Here comes Mike Meehan in the middle as the MC. Oh, man, Steve's so funny. Okay, so he just finished his set, and I caught him backstage in the green room right after his set. So here's the conversation with Steve Bruner, backstage. So, Steve, you just came off stage.
Oh, hey.
It was a great set. You were trying out some new material. How'd it go?
I had a couple pieces that worked all right, and it seems like the old things are working even better than the new, but you got to sort of go in punching a little bit, and they were fun. And
you have, all your experience, the timing, and the older material, which still makes me laugh. I don't know if you could hear me.
Thank you. Yeah, you have a good laugh. It's hard to miss you in a room, Scott.
But
that's why I invited you.
Yeah, there you go. But I heard some new material.
Oh, good.
And it seemed like it was going well.
Yeah, it just wasn't impacted in the brain, and I think I got to rewrite a couple things, but a couple ideas I think might work.
That's how you work things out.
And a good crrad to try them out.
Yeah, there's over 100 people. They seem engaged.
There were when I started. There's only 83 now. But that's the way it is.
I got to tell you, though, that I was so pleased to hear you doing the half a house down the highway.
When the first
Jill
joke
and I
said nothing. Oh, I love it.
We're driving across country to go visit the national parks or something, and we see one of those half houses. Your line always comes up.
Well, I still see it, and I one time was on the road with a comic, and he goes, "There's a really good comic that does a joke about that," and I go, "Is it about a divorce?" And he goes, "Yeah, that's it." And I go, "Oh, hey, that's me." And he goes, "Oh, it is you."
That's funny. Anyway, this is a beautiful theater.
Oh my gosh! It's
Thank
one
you
of the
so
best
much for inviting me up.
in the world. Oh, absolutely! It's always nice to see you, Scott, and thanks for being you. I think that's the best way to do it.
I think we ought to end that right there. Okay, everybody. I hope you're getting the flow of this. Let's get into some more stand-up comedy. You're going to hear the host, Mike Meehan, doing a little material, and then he introduces a very funny comic who's also been interviewed on this podcast, Johnny Steele. He had his own radio show in San Francisco, has been around for a couple decades, done a lot of television, very funny, high-energy guy. I think you'll enjoy him. Now, right after a little bit of his set, I'm going to go to a green room interview I did with him right after the show. So here we go. Enjoy.
This next performer insists that I deaden the crowd into a deep Novocaine sleep so that he can try his comedy superpowers to raise the dead. Like Lazarus, ladies and gentlemen, he's here tonight. Let's give it up, Johnny Steele!
Everybody, you've heard Johnny. I interviewed on my show. High energy, fun, crazy guy. Not the cleanest, but always funny. So let's listen to a little bit of Johnny Steele.
Steve Bruner was in the house. How about, I love watching Steve. I always feel like I had a stroke and I'm in a Pat Boone Christmas special from 1962. How you doing? Oh, damn it, good to be here. Someone wanted to hear about my background, so I'll start off with that. Because Michael was talking about explaining the white privilege and all this. I'm Spanish and Italian, Sicilian, and my Spanish ancestors, anybody know this? They came not through Ellis Island, they went to Hawaii. You know why? Does anybody know why? Indentured servants, 1900-something, they didn't have money for passage, so what you do is instead of going to Ellis Island, you go around South America, and then you go to Hawaii, and for 10 months they had to pick fruit and vegetables to pay their passage. Yeah, that's what they did. That's just where people come from. You know what they did? They looked around at one point, and they saw this beautiful sunsets. You ever been to Hawaii? Can you imagine it 100 years ago? How pristine and unspoiled. They saw beautiful sunsets and year-round temperate climate and fruit falling out of the trees on their plate and half-naked brown women bobbing in the surf every afternoon. And they looked at each other and said, "Hey, fuck this, let's move to Antioch." Yeah. All aboard? Right? Am I right? Am I right? Somebody in the corner, right? And they split. I go from Pittsburgh, California. You have Pittsburgh named after the other Pittsburgh. It was originally called Las Vedanas because it was a ranch for horses, and then Black Diamond because the hills had coal, which was very valuable, Black Diamond. And the coal was gone, and the horses were gone, so in the 30s they wanted to change it and give it another name. And so they held a meeting, and I can't imagine how they came up with Pittsburgh. You know, there were some steel mills there, but still, we got a new town here, and we want to give it a new name. Give it a new look and a new feel. Any suggestions? What are you looking for in a town name? Good question, sir. We're looking for a name that embodies misery and alcoholism and violence, spousal abuse, disappointment, low expectations, and the crumbling industrial mill days. Pittsburgh! Oh, there you go, man! Put on the hat, you're the mayor! I don't know why that guy sounded like he was from the South. It was just in the East Bay, but I have limited characters tonight. If you pay more, I do bigger characters, but that for $30, you get the Southern guy in Pittsburgh. It's nice. I grew up in Pittsburgh, and I moved to the city and lived there for many years, and I go to class reunions and whatnot. When you go home, right, you do that, so you're back to your hometown. And I talk to my friends, and these are people who grew up in Pittsburgh. I just did a gig there last week. Some of them never left. They've never left Pittsburgh. I left when I was aware that you were free to leave. And they're still there. And I go, "Hey, Mike, man, good to see you. Yeah, Jimmy, get married. That's cool, but you have to come to the city. I've been living there for like 20 years. Know it like the back of my hand, man. Come visit." "Yeah, there's no fucking parking. I'm not coming in if you can't park." "Yeah, it's hard to park there, Mike, but I'll take you out. We'll go to the Cliff House, watch the sunset, have a beer, something like that. Maybe go to North Beach, grab a bottle of wine, go see a jazz show, bum a bookstore, sit at a coffee house, look at girls. What do you think?" "Yeah, I think you can't fucking park there." That's what I think. "You tell me you can park there? I'm going to go there because you can't park there. There's no parking." What do you say at that point? "You're right, Mike, there's no parking. You know there's no parking? San Francisco, Paris, and Manhattan. You know where there is parking? Antioch, Chernobyl, and hell." You see a pattern, Mike? "Where's Chernobyl? Is it like by Turlock? They got a sports bar like ribs." "Mike, why do you sound like you're from New Jersey? You're just from Pittsburgh." "Hey, that's the fault of the comedian. He should work on his characters." "Hey, get out of my sketch!" Oh, sorry.
Well, you can see Johnny's really funny and high energy. Let's give it a little break and come back with more comedy in a little bit. Johnny's having an incredible set. Let's listen to a little bit more.
You come up and perform. I'm like, "Great, I'm working out some new material." She's like, "Okay, you're doing like 11 minutes. The show is 9 hours long. She books 47 comics. Who's back here? What's going on back there? How much time I got, bud? A couple minutes? 2 minutes, all right. 2 minutes. You wouldn't like do in 2 minutes. I'll talk about the rest of my family. You might, My brother's you might know my brother's a famous writer for the LA Times. He wrote a column which became a book, which became the movie The Soloist. Man, Robert, my real last name is Lopez. Steeletown was a football nickname in college because I came from Pittsburgh, and the coach, I was little, 6'3", 230, but I was tiny comparatively. My coach said, that kid from Steeletown is little, but he's tough, so it became Steeletown, and I played a lot of football through 6 concussions back when we thought it was a good idea. When you tackle helmet to helmet, you can't tackle helmet to helmet anymore. They said, my day, you did. Nowadays, you got to go up to the ball carrier. I've seen them teach the kids in high school. And the first, you have to ask them their pronouns first, try to and then you hope it's not they. Because you ever try to tackle a running back? Either if it's a tank, it's going to run you over. Or there's that guy, and it's just like an eight. Now it's they. You got to tackle all those fuckers at once, and then you don't hit them with your head. You grab them and like droopy dog. Can I tackle you? And then then you apologize for your personal space and appropriating tackling culture or some shit. And I ruined the day. My day, you went helmet to helmet. And at the end of the game, the guy, this is no bullshit, the guy with the most paint or plastic on the front of his helmet from the other team's helmet, the guy who had the most helmet-to-helmet full-speed collisions was the stud of the week. You had to call, you put your helmet in front of the coach's office, and they picked the stud of the week. Stud of the week. And you got a prize. You got 2 prizes. One was a sticker for the back of your helmet, big S sticker, stud of the week. Very coveted, right? You saved that spot in the back for the stud of the week. That's one thing. And the other thing was you got someone to walk around campus with you next week and help you remember your locker combination. There's one of these kids helping me out. Johnny, 7 left. It's just an L. It's upside down, Johnny. I don't have any more time for Christ's sake. But I see a good friend of mine. Well, years ago, I did a radio show back in the day when there was such a thing. Radio was a thing where they broadcast everywhere, and you get in the morning, and people listen to it, and all that. In the bedroom with a porn. But now, my day, so this guy and I had a radio show on Live 105, and I stumbled on a very old format of comedy from the vaudeville days, and we'll do that joke first. And we found only about 3 from the old days, and then we wrote like 80 or 100. We have 100 of our own. And thanks to my concussions, I can remember about 7. But we're going to do them for you now, if you'd be so kind. Mr. Larry Bubbles, whoa!
I'm still groggy from the time change.
Yes, that right?
I was hoping to turn it back to 1963. My last good year.
So Johnny has just introduced Larry Bubbles Brown, who you've heard before on the podcast. Let's listen as they work together.
So Larry, would you like to explain them further? Or would you like to do the one that I found in a book years ago, 20 years ago?
Let's start off with that one. They're so simple. They're self-explanatory.
All right, and they're rhythmic too. The first one you might moan and groan, but after you get the rhythm going, you'll be totally hooked.
Then you'll hate it.
And we're actually recorded like 100 of these, and we're going to be releasing them on a CD called "What Happened to Our Career." And they'll be available hopefully by the end of this year or early January. We've got 100 of them. Larry,
we're going to upload them to MySpace.
The problem is we can't get moving on the project because we don't have teenage kids. So we're like, how does it work? All right. I wouldn't even do a joke about upload, Larry. Go ahead, you start.
Okay. I had to take a blood test when I went to China.
Taipei?
Now I'll be positive.
Okay. The very first one that's not ours, the only one that's not ours. And, my wife took a bath in milk last night.
Pasteurized?
No, just up to her nipples.
I boat up to Oregon.
Salem?
No, I just put them on the back of a truck.
I see. Hey, I sent you over the hot Native American gal from a tribe in the foothills.
You walk?
No, you drive car. Hill Valley, they got to sort of run that through the filter. Hill Valley Roto filter. It's okay. It's really silly, but maybe there's Native Americans, and these are real faces. Hey, I've had to endure plenty of shitty audiences at Indian casinos, so fuck that. Indian casinos are full of people who don't have the finances or wherewithal to get themselves to Reno, for God's sake. Yeah. One way here, but for now, we're going to wherever it is, Roder Park. So, all right.
Hey, Tom! We'll take the smart train. Took a picture of a big bear when I was up in Alaska.
Kodiak?
Now I used a Polaroid.
Oh!
I'm dating a gal on the other side of the river by that bridge with all those triangles on it.
Cantilever?
No, she's pregnant.
Did some banking up in Alaska.
Fairbanks?
Yes, they had free check-ins.
Last night I was eating a Russian noodle dish and watching pornography.
Stroganoff.
As soon as I finished my noodles.
After that, your noodle was finished.
Where were we?
My girl likes to shop in those huge stores, the retail outlets.
Big box?
No, she does Kegels. We got blue in Mill Valley.
I had a lesbian carpenter do some high-quality cabinetry for me.
Tongue and groove.
Hell if I know, that's her business.
That was tongue and groove.
These people are here with their kids. They're going to get $5 back, each of you. I went to a buffet in Budapest.
Hungry?
No, it's all you can eat.
Got my girlfriend a dress from India.
Sorry?
No, she looks great.
Played cards with the wife last night.
Poker.
After we played cards.
Met some girls in the northern British Isles.
Wales?
No, they worked out.
I lived among the native women of Central Africa.
You Maggie?
You betcha. This would work well in a bar in East Oakland. Cocaine and vagina jokes.
Made love to an ancient city in Britain.
Exeter?
Shortly after I entered.
I worked at a bank in Idaho with a lot of very attractive women.
Pocatello?
No, but I screwed the branch manager.
Went out with a girl from Ohio.
Dayton?
Not just fucked her left.
You can say screwed her with a young man here, for God's sake.
Made love.
I'm Catholic tomorrow and go to confession.
We made love and I departed.
One more, we gotta go. We're getting it's time for cocktails in the lobby. And complaints.
We're out of cooking.
Complaint boxes in the back. Your last favorite one.
Okay, my date was having chest pains last night.
Acute angina?
No, but she had great tits.
Larry Bubbles Brown. I saw a hot girl at a country park in my own.
Oh man, that was hilarious. That was Johnny Steele, Larry Bubbles Brown doing some really funny bit. All right, we're going to have an intermission. We'll come back with more comedy and conversation soon. Enjoy. So, Johnny, you just came off stage. Mike, you're over here. You're making the show happen with the MC. That was a great set.
And we're just discussing with Michael, and I don't know if Chicago Steve Barkley, who's here, would like to weigh in, and Hatch is here. Do you ever know when you're going to have a good set or a bad set? I don't really. Sometimes I'm sure I'm going to destroy, and I don't. And other times I just like, my back hurts, I'm tired, I got stuff on my mind, I'm going to phone this one in and walk through, and somehow we have a big set. And it's...
the material, though, was right on and perfect for this audience.
Well, when I saw what short set I'm doing, I could do 45 minutes or an hour usually as a hip.
Right,
so
you have like
short,
15, right?
Get to the punchlines. All the sort of B notes in between, I get rid of them. I just leap right to the punchlines and just try to not give them anything but a list.
Well, the audience had a great time. You always have high energy. You always bring the comedy.
There's been some complaints, though, Scott.
Oh, my God.
Excuse me, are you talking to Johnny Steele? I don't understand those vaudeville jokes.
There's a line.
He said, excuse me, young man, you comedians are very rude. He said a joke something like, I took my wife to a sporting event, and the other man said soccer, and he said, didn't have to, we got along great. I mean, that's rude. He's endorsing misogyny, and I'm offended. And if one individual's emotions are offended, the entire world must stop to take note. I'm sorry, thank you. Where's the money back booth? Refund?
Well, I got to tell you, the thing with you and Larry, Bubbles Brown, I mean, that was great. You did that on radio?
We did it. It started on radio. I discovered 2 or 3 of those. The first one was wife took a bath in milk, pasteurized, no, just up to her nipples or over her breast or whatever.
Yeah.
And I found that, and I searched around. Poker is not ours. Played cards with the wife, poker. There were about poker after we played cards. So I found about 5 of them, and I tell you, once you train your brain, like the cops always say, they can never relax it. They're constantly looking for criminals and crimes happening. And once you start doing that, you can't. The Stroganoff thing. I went to where was I? I was at lunch with a friend the other day, and on the wall it was Russian Stroganoff, and I just turned to him and said, "Your question is Stroganoff," and he said, "Okay." And I said, "I was watching pornography last night while eating a Russian noodle dish, and Stroganoff. As soon as I finished my noodle dish." And it's so stupid. And, individually, here's what I learned. Individually, they don't work that well. People think they're stupid. But once they get, comedy is...
You get the rhythm going.
Yeah, comedy is 2 things. Point of view and rhythm, I think, more important than anything. Personality and do they like you and all that. But rhythm and point of view. And so they get the rhythm real quick if you do 3 or 4 of them. And then they get the... the point of view is just tongue-in-cheek. We think these are silly, so
right.
Don't get it.
Well, you set it up perfect.
Yeah,
hey, we were on radio. We came up with these. We've kind of expanded on it. Here's a few.
Yeah, and believe it or not, we have over 100. But, I've got ADD and Larry's got the work ethic of, a 90-year-old man. And so we don't ever do what we plan to do, which is one day just print them all out in 1-inch fonts, put them on 10 pieces of paper, tape to the monitors on stage, and do every single one and get them down on video or audio tape. And we just never... Well, part of the problem is we want to do it when we're not doing stand-up because it may not seem like a lot for people, but, you've done stand-up and you've owned comedy clubs and stuff. Before you go on stage, I don't care if it's an easy gig or if you've done 5 shows that week or whatever, you start to go, I played football in college. You start 3 hours before, you start to go into, you're leaving the civilian world and going into this thing that's really intense. It's really...
Well, you're focused.
Focused. I start focusing earlier. I don't really look at my notes, which is clear to the audience, I'm sure. But look at my... Well, I don't know where they are. It looks like Ted Kaczynski's manifesto. It's just 90 pages of script.
It was so great that you guys did that bit together and shared it with the audience, and it was on top of your high energy set, which you already admitted, and I admitted, you killed. It was incredible. What a great way to cap off an already good set, to do something with your buddy like that from the old days.
It's why, and we get a lot, nobody really wants 3 guys over 60, but we've been pitching this thing. Michael Meehan, brilliant. So we're also different. Michael Meehan is an abstract Monty Python-esque artist. Larry is a self-effacing guy, and I'm sort of a slightly unbridled. I do similar material, but I ad-lib a lot, and I never do the material in the same order or whatever else. So we've been trying to pitch this as the old school comedy blowout, and then Michael does a very, very funny voiceovers, and then I play guitar decently well, and Michael plays harmonica. And
Mike just came in with an instrument that looks like it's going to be something special. Do you know how to play that?
No, not really. This is all I know how to do.
That's it. All right, are you going to do some commentary? And then they opened the door and found him dead.
But he went on stage anyway.
This is the type of stuff you can count on Michael bringing. And so I just think the old school comedy blowout is a great show. We all do 20 minutes. We open with a little, "Hi, this is why we're here." I do a funny joke calming people down. I do a thing where I basically yell. Well, sometimes I do it with Michael, and I say, we're 3 guys and we're white men, and that's against the law in California now. But don't worry, Michael is currently transitioning, and by early next year, he'll be a very attractive Filipino woman. So that sort of tells him right off the bat, we don't
I think that's a great idea.
But it's great because we're so different. It's a great show, sketches, but we just, Michael's got a family, Larry's got, I think, a brain tumor.
It's a good dynamic, and our crowd is usually a little older, so they get a lot of the references.
And the last couple of times at the Punchline, on a weeknight, I think we sold out. They probably comp a few people, but we had 150 people at the Punchline on a Tuesday last time we were there, and it's definitely a crowd.
Why don't you put it together as a tour, like the Dad Tour, or the Caveman Tour? You do a show and you hone it and then take it on the road.
Well, as soon as this house arrest thing is over.
Although at our age, maybe the road's not what you want to do.
Yeah, Michael can't perform.
But then Mike and you could put it into a show, a presentation. Everybody's got access now to do something.
Well, so the idea would be to do it a few times and then just get somebody to. Nowadays, in the old days, it would cost $50,000 to tape a show.
Not now.
Guys with their iPhone and whatever. So So your question was, why don't we do it? Well, Larry is hard to buckle down, and then Michael's got a family, and I got ADD.
No offense, it's hard to focus you, Johnny.
Yeah, well, that's it. And I was getting to me, but I'd forgotten about myself.
It's getting to the chase.
Yeah.
This is actually your intervention, Johnny. We're going to send you off to
I look at it this way.
Silent Acres.
Not too many bands broke in their 60s. So there are always a bunch of kids, 18 to 28 or 32, living together in a house, living on burritos and bourbon. And so, everyone has their own lives and their own families, so it's hard. But I still think it's not that big a deal because we have our own acts. That's the bulk of the show. And then Michael's got some very funny voiceovers that we do between, like Mexican.
Yeah.
And now a word from our sponsor.
This portion of our show brought to you by Mexamucil, the spicy laxative. Ay, ay, ay! Put a little pep in your pipes.
So we've got a bunch of those silly things. And then, like I said, I play guitar, Mike plays harmonica.
And then Johnny and Larry do their vaudeville stuff.
All right, it sounds like we've got a plan. We're going to pull it together.
If only we knew a guy
that could
from
produce it.
Sacramento who had owned some comedy clubs and is a successful businessman who would take this under his wing and get us into some small.
I wonder where we can find that.
I don't know. Who knows a little bit about comedy.
Johnny, pipe dreams.
Yeah. Anyway.
Oh, well, we're going to be back with more comedy in just a bit. This is all backstage fun. All right, everybody. This is Scott, your host. I'm at the Throckmorton Theater. It's a Tuesday night comedy show. A bunch of guys that used to work for me are performing. We're at intermission. We're about to go back into it. I hope you're having as much fun as me. It's great to be back at a live show and working with these guys. So stay tuned, listen, and enjoy. And thanks for being a part of the podcast.
Great to be back. I guess an update is in tune. And now it's time for the rhyming news. A pack of crack maniacs attacked a shack in Hackensack, ransacking knickknacks, bric-a-brac, and a Pontiac. This pack is whack, Jack. Back. Whoa, look at that rack. To you. And now here's blues legend, Blind Lane Lemon with the weather.
Westerly winds 10 to 15 miles an hour with rising temperatures inland.
Thank you so much, Blind Lane Lemon. That sounds like it's going to be a great weekend. Now here's German film director Werner Herzog with sports.
The Golden State Warriors are in Memphis, and just as the ants will take the babies to safety when the nest is threatened, Stephen Curry takes the ball up court to meet the Grizzlies.
Thank you so much, Werner. And now here's a special reporter on the scene. Thank you very much, Chet. I'm here at the MILF Sanctuary, and it's feeding time. From a vendor, I've been able to buy a plate of bonbons and coupons for Lululemon pants. Oh, they're at the fence. I gotta go. All right, our next performer, ladies and gentlemen, he's given me a lot of information, but it's all a phony cover because he is a deep, deep cover agent on assignment. But he's here tonight, ladies and gentlemen, trying out his new disguise as a funny man. Let's give it up for James Gleason.
Keep it going for that guy here at the Young Faces of Comedy Night. Here at the Throckmorton, my God, Michael, let's hear from Michael Meehan. He's a friend of mine. He took me to the, and Tracy, you don't have this around here, but he took me to the Olive Garden. Have you been there? It's like hospital food from Italy. Like a guy who got to the ICU in Milan or something. My God, I wore my winter clothes. But yeah, we're both from, between Chinatown and New Chinatown, we're from a little place called Little Ireland. Me and Mike, and the family Meehan, and the family Gleasons, we were small Irish families, 6 and 8 kind of kids. They call it a venti. No, what is it? Tall. But the big Irish Catholic families, they had like 13, 14 kids. Sophomore year, I'd go over, and I was the youngest kid. My friend Mark, his brother was like 3 decades older than him. I was like, your brother was a submarine commander in World War II? Jesus Christ. But I remember just sitting there with Mike, and we were sitting around in Little Ireland, and we're over the years ago. 40 years it took me to get here with these guys, these comics. I looked up to Larry and all these guys, and now I can ask them questions about sciatica and hernias and stuff. But there we were, Mike, Meehan, and I just sitting on the waterfront looking over here towards Marin and just drooling that one day, and this is a weird story because he was 19 and I was 5. That's where it kind of gets weird. You know, anyway, I'm just kidding. My God, I'll show you what God did in him. I got also, not Alzheimer's. It was alopecia, like Jada Pinkett Smith, but I'm fighting it, and I'm letting you know. And during the pandemic, I started using this Airbnb, which is you can use other people's hair like it's your own. And I've got a homeless guy's pubic hair, and sometimes these kids from Antioch will, like, you know, party in your hair all night and wake up and just throw up. But I want to look good, you know. But anyway, I got the extra. I just got back from Santa Monica. I had my first audition for a feature-length film, a movie called American History Eczema. Story about these skinheads who have atopic dermatitis, and they accidentally kill a Jewish pharmacist during the largest hydrocortisone heist in U.S. history. And a story of sensitive skin and hate, but Jesus Christ. But we're all back and we're partying inside again. You remember? Do you guys remember when Gavin Newsom got caught celebrating inside his best friend's wife? But I love Gavin Newsom. I used to sell cocaine in Santa Fe by the Mission Art Chamber. Mike, where do we used to sell cocaine? My God. But I feel like my skin fall. You know, I can get jealous of a burn victim. Like, you know, he's burned over 90% of his body with no flakes. I just want to be smooth. Like I'm getting my ED medications delivered discreetly to my front door now. The last guys used to come to the living room door and anyway, I'm kidding. What am I talking about? My penis already. But yeah, so Olive Garden. No, Endless Shrimp. That's right. You guys go to Endless Shrimp where they give you. Are you guys crypto people? Can you keep an eye on the Bitcoin while we're up here? Because I'm going to give it to these people for the PBS pledge break. You said I recognize you people, and you from the jury trial I had in October. But no, I'm not a source. I smoked a little. You guys know the weed things? I bought this weed called Autism. And one hit, and I can play the piano like amazing, but I've been shitting my pants and I can't feed myself. And I'm already punching down. How many minutes do I have left? 18? What the fuck is wrong with me? No, my mom died.
Well, we're going to let him keep working, and we'll be back with some more comedy and backstage banter a little bit later.
All right, we're going to keep this freight train of comedy just cooking along here. Our next performer actually won $10,000 on America's Funniest People. His check tonight will be slightly less than that, but his funny is going to be top tier, solid gold. Let's give it up for Chicago Steve Barkley, ladies and gentlemen.
This is a headliner tonight. He's been interviewed before on the podcast. Chicago Steve Barkley.
I'm using a cane. Back in the 80s, I did a lot of cocaine. Now I just do the cane. And, I was in a car accident about 9 years ago, broke my neck and back, and so I got to use a cane. And I hate it, but it's one thing about using a cane is it attracts attention to you. And when you've been in show business as long as I have, people begin to recognize you. And tonight I was standing out in the lobby, and I noticed a couple, and they were staring at me, and I knew they recognized me because they came up to me and they said, "Colonel, we love your chicken." And what the hell do you say to that?
He looks like Colonel Sanders.
It's great to be here at the beautiful Throckmorton Theater. This is theater-like. And it's so funny, it's getting cold now. Now winter's coming, you know. And I said that to a buddy of mine. He goes, "Oh, no, it sucks, man." And I said, "I'm from Chicago." I go, "You need to shut up. This is not cold. Unless you've spent a winter in Chicago, you have no idea what the word cold is. Winters in Chicago are like... That's going from your bedroom to the bathroom, okay? It's freaking cold in Chicago. I get up in the middle of the night to take a leak. I trip over the dog, he'd break.
We're listening to comic Steve Barkley live at the Throckmorton Theater. Let's see how it goes.
We said, "Oh, that sounds like a good idea for those damn people that are sick. They need their medicine. Damn it. We're going to give them their medicine. These people are in pain. Give them their goddamn medicine. Jesus, what are you, heartless bastard? Jesus. I'm voting for that crap. Nobody will abuse it. I'm voting for it." All of a sudden, everybody needed medicine. You know? we voted on it. We came out of the voting booth, and the feds were standing there, and I went, hey, what are you doing? You can't do that. You can't just go into the voting booth and legalize medicinal marijuana. And we looked at the feds and went, I'm pretty sure we can. And now it's legal. Legal. You can get it in a variety of different forms. Cookies, brownies, soda pop, candy bars, gummy bears. I can never get those right. Doesn't matter, you know, I got a buddy of mine, he was in Iraq, he got all blown up and shit. So he takes CBDs and THC, and he goes, you want to go to a motorcycle show? I go, yeah. So we're driving to the show, and he goes, do you like gummy bears? I go, yeah. He goes, here you go. So I'm sitting around eating gummy bears. He goes, hey, cowboy, you better slow down on those. I go, why? He goes, well, those are THC. I said, you said they were medicine. He goes, they are medicine. They're THC, though. He goes, how many of those did you eat? And I said, 15. By the time we got to the motorcycle event, I could taste color. So I'm in the back seat on the floor. I'm going to take me to the hospital. I think I'm going to die. I can never get that shit right. I can never get it right. You know, but I love it. My wife was going to have a baby. I said, you should have some gummy bears. I'm not going to have any goddamn gummy bears. Everything's not a joke, you know. I went, yeah, pretty much it is. She decided to have a baby. She said, we're going to have a baby. I said, cool. She goes, cool? That's your response? Cool? I go, what's the right response? She goes, you better be happy. I go, yay. That was one of the weirdest experiences of my life. I gotta tell you, I can change my way I look at you women. You women are fucking queens, you know. I mean, because back in the old days, you know, the Conestoga wagon days, you know, you're having babies. You're walking next to the wagon going, oh my God, here comes a baby. You know, like this. Now you've got clean hospitals and everything's sterile, you know. And so she's all ready. We did Lamaze classes. We did all that crap. And she's got the baby bag all ready. She's got a boom box with the songs of the humpback whale. And everything's we're going to bring this baby into the world in love and peace and happiness. So we get there to the hospital that night, and she lights the incense, and the nurses came in and shut that shit right off. She said, you can't do that. That pissed her off. And so she turns on the tapes, the songs of the humpback whale. And it freaked out the people in the room next door. It was so bad they went down to the parking lot and had their baby in the car. The wildest experience of my whole life was seeing my child be born. Oh my God! I just have the most utmost respect for you women. She said, I'm not going to take any drugs. And I said, you're not. I've got a bag of gummies I'm going to take. So the doctor comes in, he goes, are you ready? And we go, yeah. So he gives her the shot to induce labor. About 2 hours later, you know, I'm massaging her. And the doctor comes in and goes, okay, let's take a look. And he lifts up her gown and he goes, ooh, that's not good. And I'm standing in the back of him. I go, why? What's not good? He goes, well, she's only dilated to about 3. So if you're going to have a baby naturally, she's going to have to dilate a whole lot more. Or else we're going to have to take the baby cesarean. I said, that's okay. She goes, no, it's not okay. I go, why? She goes, I'm not having the baby cesarean. I go, I was born cesarean. It didn't affect me, except when I leave the house, I want to go out through the garage. She goes, that's not funny. I go, pretty much it is, and I'm going to use that line. So he goes, let me just give you something, you know, just to relax. No, I don't want to take any drugs. And I'm standing behind the doctor, and I go, give her something. Give her a bottle of Jack Daniels. I don't care. Give her something. So we finally talk her into giving a shot to relax her. He comes back in about an hour and a half later. He goes, okay, let's take a look. And I'm standing behind him, and he lifts up her gown, and I go, whoa, wow. That is relaxed. That's all going to go back, right? That law. Because, come on, look at that, Doc. God, look at it. That's not good. The doctor goes, I think it's time to have the baby out. What do you think? So we get in there. He goes, are you going to catch the child? And I said, no, I am not. And my wife goes, yes, you are. I go, of course I am. So they gown me up. And he goes, okay, now get ready. Get right down there. I go, I don't want to get down there. I don't want to look at that. I don't want to look at that at all. I'm never having sex again. I'm never looking at that. And she's dilated to 11. So the first push, that baby comes popping out of there like a potato cannon. And I look down, this baby's got the biggest penis I've ever seen on a baby.
And I go, oh my God, I created this Franken baby with the giant penis. I'm the father. And the doctor goes, actually, that's the umbilical cord. And he goes, and it's a little girl. So he cuts the cord and everything and hands the baby back to my wife, and she begins to nurse the baby, and she's just glowing, and I'm going, that right there, that's the difference between men and women. Because if something that big would have came squirting out of my wiener, I would have killed it! Women are just amazing creatures. Strong, you always smell good, I don't understand that. Things don't bother you, you have periods. You have periods. You bleed for days and don't die. And you think nothing of it. Women get together. Oh my God, I'm on my period. I'm on my period too. Really? I'm on my period. If guys had periods, you'd be like, Bob, how are you? Not good. Not good. I am bloated like a poison toad. I am not doing well. I'm not doing well at all. I want something salty. I want something sweet. I don't know what the fuck I want. I'm flowing like a river. I left the trail from the garage into the living room. Shelly's all pissed off about that. These pads are killing me. I can't even sit on the Harley. You guys been married a long time? He looks over at his wife. He goes, have we been married a long time? 16 years? 15. Oh, 15 years. Okay, that's a big difference. You look in good shape. You're a young man. Everything's still working? Everything good? Yeah? Using that Viagra? Using Viagra? No, me neither. I like Cialis. I do. No, I do. Because my wife didn't want my glove. I just get in the car and go Cialis. That's what I do. I use Viagra for my sunburn. It doesn't help with the pain, but it keeps the sheets off my legs. They advertise that stuff on TV. If you suffer from an erection lasting longer than 4 hours, seek immediate medical attention. The hell with that? I'm calling up people I went to high school with. Ted, you're not going to believe this. I got a boner for 4.5 hours. Now I'm on the backyard. I'm knocking softballs over the fence. My sister works at an old folks home back in Illinois. She goes, every night before we put the old guys in bed, we give them a Viagra. And I go, ooh, really? Are they sexually active? She goes, no, it just keeps them from rolling out of bed at night. 15 years. You still having that spontaneous sex? You still having that? Yeah? That'll disappear. Yeah. It changes. Your whole relationship changes as the years go by. I know. You wife drinking the wine there? You like the wine? Yeah, women love the wine. My wife loves the wine. She likes to drink wine and watch the Hallmark Channel. She cries. I came in the other day, there's about this much wine left at the bottom. She's staring at the TV, just crying her eyes out. Going, don't do it! Don't do it, you stupid bitch! Don't go in that church! Don't go in that church! I go, what are you watching? She goes, our wedding video. I'm in Chicago Steve. You guys have been great. Thank you.
That was Chicago Steve Barkley live at the Throckmorton this Tuesday night. So glad I could share that with you. I know you enjoyed it as much as me. We're going to catch Steve after the show for a little conversation, but that was some great comedy. So we're back in the green room. Steve, you just had an incredible set.
Thank you.
Before you say anything, I've interviewed you, and you have made it perfectly clear you're retired, and then you come out and kill them.
Well, I'm semi-retired. I don't do the clubs much anymore, but I still like to do one-nighters like this. It's a lot of fun.
It was an amazing set.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
Thank
the
you.
audience loved it.
Thank you, except that one guy took a shot at me. But that's another story, I think it was my dad. But it was good. It was a lot of fun. Hey, thank you. Thank you.
So you get a chance to perform much?
I'm working
is this
about
a regular thing?
About 3 times a month.
Oh, wow, that's a lot more. Well, that's incredible.
Yeah.
And you keep it fairly clean. I think we could do some work together.
Pretty much.
Just great to see you on stage and work in the audience like that.
Thank you. Thank you. It's great. I love the Throckmorton. It's great to be. Good to see you. I haven't seen you in years, man.
It's been a while.
This is great.
How did you come about getting in this show? And what's it like getting on stage with Steve Bruner and Johnny and
God, it's like the old days. It brings back memories because these are all the guys that I worked with back in the '80s and stuff. And Bubbles Brown got me on the show tonight, and I love Larry. He's he's terrific, and it's great to be with all the guys that I started out with.
Yeah, well, it was wonderful to see you. You killed the audience.
Thank you.
Chicago Steve Barkley is still rocking it.
Thank you, Scott. Thank you so much, man. Thank you.
Well, Chicago Steve Barkley, both on stage and off, a very nice guy, very, very funny guy. Be sure to go into the archives and find his interview. In fact, there's an interview with Steve Bruner, Johnny Steele, Larry Bubbles Brown, and Steve Barkley. If you get a chance, be sure to check those out. And thanks for joining me today on this unusual episode with me as a guest going to this Tuesday night show at the Throckmorton Theater. It's been an experience, lots of fun, and thanks for taking the journey with me. We'll see you next week with another great show. Bye.
We hope you enjoyed this episode of Stand-Up Comedy, your host and MC. For information on the show, merchandise, and our sponsors, or to send comments to Scott, visit our website at www.standupyourhostandmc.com. Look for more episodes soon and enjoy the world of stand-up comedy. Visit a comedy showroom near you.